One of the biggest challenges you can face when renting an apartment is trying to make it feel like a home. One of the reasons it's difficult is because landlords have restrictions as to what you can change. But the bigger reason, at least in my opinion, is that you know the apartment is temporary. I'm not going to be here forever, so how much work do I actually want to put into this place, knowing that the landlord is going to make me switch it all back when I move out? That's a lot of work on top of moving. So do you bite the bullet and decorate your heart out, decide that you'll deal with removing it all later? Some people do. Or do you do nothing at all? Just treat your new apartment like a long-term hostel that only has the bare necessities. You don't have to put in any effort, but it will never feel like a home, and it won't be very impressive for you or your guests. Today, I'm going to show you the steps that we took in designing an apartment living room in a renter-friendly way. And furthermore, I'll break down the techniques that we were using so that you can do the same. If you're a returning subscriber, hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be a subscriber. Remember that if you would like our help in designing your room, you can have that help by clicking the link in the description below. Here is the original living room, which was submitted to us by Zach. Zach is a subscriber of the channel, and he reached out to us to create a modern, masculine-styled apartment that was renter-friendly. The look of the layout is very typical of luxury apartment complexes, especially for one bedrooms that you see being built nowadays. The living room and the kitchen combination is of rectangular form. The builders generally have the kitchen off to the left side, facing toward the living room. Off to the right, you would find a doorway which would lead to a bedroom, and that bedroom probably has its own entrance into a personal bathroom. Returning to the term renter-friendly, this can mean slightly different things depending on your landlord. But for the most part, here is what you'll find. You're allowed to hang pictures, art, small shelving. You're obviously welcome to include any furniture or small decor that you're bringing with you. What landlords get more hesitant about is painting, switching out light fixtures, attaching any type of built-ins which are larger than a small shelf, meaning something like a big built-in bookcase that has hooks that go into the wall. Changing flooring, cabinet colors, and countertops are things that they have hesitancy over. Modifying these types of things can affect the rentability of the unit in the future because now that unit is too tailored to one person's tastes. That lowers the demographic to which the landlord can market their property to, and that's a problem for them. Aside from all of this, these heavier modifications are more invasive and they require a lot more effort for you to revert back, which is probably something you don't want to deal with when you know that you're going to move. The only thing I want to mention before I show you the finalized version of what we did is step one. And that is to ask yourself, what are you working with from the start? This apartment comes with gray wood flooring. It has white paint on the walls. There's a brown wood kitchen. The cabinets match that brown wood, and there's some black accents, meaning the pendant lights, the door handles, the kitchen faucet, and the cabinetry pulls. The other item which we needed to incorporate into this design is something that Zach already had, which was this IKEA golden brown sofa. These four base colors, gray, black, white, and brown, are what you can consider your mother palette. And everything else you include in this room should share some type of familial bond with them. Let's take a look at what we came up with. Now, this is something that you and your friends can happily walk into. What a difference from getting what we started with to having a welcoming feel. You get to experience comfort within your apartment and have a sense of joy when you're returning to it from being out and about. The second step is to look at choosing your rug. Rugs tend to be afterthoughts when people decorate a room. They have everything set up and they think to themselves, my God, I need a rug. Let me go see what I can find. Almost always, this results in the rug looking like exactly what it is, an afterthought. It leads to a desperate attempt to try to include something that can cover the bare floor. If you don't have furniture yet, or you have very limited furniture, I would encourage you to try to pick your rug first. Why? The area rug of a room has one of the largest appearance impacts. Think of a room as your body, the furniture as your attributes. When someone sees you, what are they noticing first? You might say, well, I've been working on these biceps. They're probably noticing those. Those are your accent chairs. Or maybe you're thinking, my mother always told me I have a great smile. They're probably looking at that. That is the artwork on your walls. I have these great calves. Look at these perfect diamonds. Those are plants in the corner of your room. The first thing they notice is your skin. Your skin is the largest and most apparent thing on your body. Why do you think women spend so much time moisturizing? They take 15-minute sessions just to put lotion on their skin. They know that their skin is very important, and they're very aware of how other people notice it. People forget that area rugs are very likely the largest decor piece you will have in your room. Put some thought into it beforehand, and the rest of the space will come together in a more easy fashion. How do we choose the right rug? Let me share with you a fairly safe approach that almost always works in apartments. Look at your wall color. Now look at your flooring and then your kitchen cabinets. Take those colors, combine them, you have your rug, or at least a selection of rugs. For us, we chose an ivory rug, which has hints of gray and brown. The ivory color itself is a mixture of white with warm undertones. I personally prefer to have some contrast between the rug and the floor, so I tend to choose a rug whose dominant color leans more in a opposite tone of the floor's dominant tone. Step 3 would be choosing your seating. This was somewhat done for us because Zach already had this great leather sofa. What makes it great is that if you're going to use a pop of color in your room, your sofa or accent chairs are a great place to do it. Do you want blue? Do you want green? Do you want orange? Go for it. We didn't use a tremendous amount of color in the rest of the room because we knew that this large piece of furniture was going to fulfill that need. If you wanted to go really bold, like a very deep, vibrant orange on the couch, it would be a handsome look. Orange would still be a family member of the mother palette, which we spoke of earlier, and that would be fine. Step 4 is choosing our coffee table. The coffee table is an important asset to a living room, but it becomes critical when it's a small living room. It plays a crucial role because the eyes have fewer directions to which they can wander in a tight area. If people's eyes are already going to this coffee table, let's give them something to look at. A heavy, solid black grain coffee table. That table is the anchor that is bringing the entire scene of the room to a center. It is the beacon that is letting visitors know this room was completed with purpose. Why black? To tie to the accent hues of the light fixtures and the hardware to the floor. Why black grain? To complement the wood textures of the kitchen cabinets. And why a rectangle? Because it mimics the shape of the room and it visually fits it like a puzzle piece. Step 5 is going to be choosing the right entertainment console size. That's the table where typically is located under your TV. When I say choosing the right size, I'm not referring to the width or the span of the furniture piece across the wall, but the depth to which it protrudes away from the wall. The depth can be the killer of a well laid out room. The size of the sofa and the coffee table you've chose along with the width of your living room are going to be the deciding factors in choosing your entertainment console. Each month, I'm going to give away a free room design. I'm going to select this winner from the group of people who follow the newsletter. So how do you follow the newsletter? There's going to be a link down in the description of this video that will allow you to subscribe to it. After that, you're automatically entered every month for a chance to win a free room design. Do you know how wide the average interior door of a home is? It's 36 inches. That's because for most people, 3 feet is a comfortable width to walk through. You can use the same principle when creating walking paths in your home. Measure 36 inches from your coffee table toward where the TV console is going to be. Then measure from that point to the wall. That will let you know the depth measurement that you shouldn't exceed when choosing a console. If your living room is exceedingly narrow and you can't make it work, my suggestion is to mount your TV on the wall as opposed to having it placed atop a table and just forego the table completely. If you absolutely need something under your TV, using a simple floating shelf is absolutely an option. Step 6 is a wonderful technique, but it can only be used if it presents itself. Luckily, it often does present itself in apartments and condo layouts. Take a look around the room and see if there's anything that you can enhance that could trick a person into thinking that the home was created that way. Do you see how it was done in this particular room? That back corner column would be viewed by a lot of people as a negative to the room because of its encroaching nature. But can you find a way to make it an asset? You can, by portraying it as an exposed concrete structure of the building. Covering this column in a artificial concrete, peel and stick wallpaper allowed us to add a bit of industrial charm to the room and kept us away from using that paint that the landlord probably wouldn't like or we don't want to go through reverting. Peel and stick wallpaper has the same application process as a giant sticker. It's not nearly as involved as the traditional water-activated wallpaper. It's very easy to remove and it's inexpensive to buy. The last step, I might have a bonus tip for you after this, but the last step I'm going to mention today is more of a point of advice in regards to the framed artwork that you may put on your walls. Sometimes when you hang art on your wall, you step back and you look at it and it feels too big. It's too heavy or it's disproportionate to the room. So the most intuitive adjustment that someone would take would be to find smaller artwork and put that up. But after doing that, you step back again and you look at it and you say, well, now this is too small. What do I do here? The issue you're running into is that you're attempting to solve a density issue with a sizing resolve. You can navigate around this by choosing a large frame with a few inches of white spacing. The spacing is called matting. When you're looking for this online or in a store, what you're looking for are picture frames with mat. This setup will allow you to choose a larger frame proportion while simultaneously removing some of the density from the body of the art. Ideally, it should result in a more overall pleasing aesthetic appearance. Now here's the bonus tip and the overarching theme when choosing color hues or textures and shapes within a room. Some of the best comedians in the world can orchestrate their jokes to quickly mention something that is seemingly insignificant. It could be a phrase at the beginning of their story, which we don't pay much attention to. And then all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, they come full circle and they hit us with a punchline that references the beginning of the story. Everyone is sent into hysterical laughter. It's not just the humor that has everyone laughing, but it's the appreciation of the ability to connect two topics or two parts of a story that appeared to not be related at all. You are taking a similar approach when orchestrating the design of your room. The tones and the textures within your room should communicate with each other from different areas. You have white on your walls. How can you bring some white to the floor? You have texture on your floor. How can you bring some of that texture to your ceiling? If the view from outside of your window is dense green forest, how do we bring some of that greenery inside the home? Consider these characteristics as satellites communicating to each other within the space that is your room. You don't want your room to look like a Ronald McDonald outfit, but it's nice to see a color make a second appearance. You have now seen some of the steps that we took in creating a renter-friendly apartment that you can use in your own home. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you feel like sticking around a while, feel free to subscribe. See you on the next one.